As a quick precursor to this episode, I would love to invite you to attend the autumn edition of my in-person event, Dare Greatly in the Coaching Arena, which will be held on Friday the 8th of November in Barnes, southwest London. It's a 5-minute walk from Barnes Station, and there's also a free car parking place on site. So it's the best of both worlds. We will be preparing and planning for your best ever 2025, and you will leave with that vision and strategy for your next 12 months with a newfound sense of connection and focus. We will be harvesting your present and planting the seeds for a profitable and joyful 2025, allowing your business goals to bloom with ease. I'm very excited to be bringing the warmth of the season and all of those beautiful colours and everything we can learn from shedding what no longer serves us and preparing for spring. Embrace the seasons of change and join me on 8th of November to Dare Greatly in the Coaching Arena. Do not worry if you don't know anyone. I will ensure that you feel welcome from the moment you arrive until the moment you leave. I cannot wait to see you there, and grab the link now in the show notes. Hello and welcome to Women in the Coaching Arena podcast. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Lott, a business mentor and ICF accredited coach, and I help coaches to build brilliant businesses. I know that when you prepare to enter the arena, there is fear, self-doubt, comparison, anxiety, uncertainty, shame. You can tend to armor up and protect yourself from vulnerability. In this podcast, I'll be sharing honest, not hype, practical and emotional tools to support you to make the difference that you're here for. Dare greatly, you belong in this arena. Welcome to the 40th episode of Women in the Coaching Arena. I am so glad you are here. Today, I'm excited to share with you the behind the scenes of 2023 of my business. It's something I do every single year. You can look back on my website and look at my annual reviews for all of my years. But it's the first time I've obviously reflected on a podcast because I haven't had my podcast since I've started doing my annual review. So super excited to reflect with you today, especially because I've just had the most amazing voice note from Kate Hill, who is a TikTok superstar leadership coach. And she's just literally left me a 1-minute voice message saying, thank you so much. I've loved, having you in my world, even if I'm not working with you anymore. It's helped me so much to know that you're there, and she can't explain why, but she wouldn't have got where she's got without me, which is crazy because she definitely would have. But to hear it is the exact reason why I do this work. So I will share a framework that I have been using since 2020 to reflect. And if you would like to attend, depending on the date you're listening to this, a workshop to help you go through this process, I will be running that on Thursday, the 14th of December, which is the date that this podcast goes out, sadly. But if you are able to make it, I would love to see you there. You will find the sign-up link in the show notes. So what went well and why is the first part I will discuss. So for me, connecting with people on LinkedIn consistently and posting consistently has gone really well this year. It's something I would highly recommend that you do. Always focus on, especially the audience growth or network growth, depending on what type of marketing you are doing. But that is the biggest game changer for me this year in growing my business, is not putting stuff out to a stagnant audience, the same people seeing it again and again and again, always bringing fresh new people into your world to be able to see the stuff that you are putting out there. So that is a real game changer for me this year. It's actually something I didn't like doing because I'm the type to look at their profile and then think, I don't know if they'll like me, or maybe I won't like them, or completely overthink it essentially. So what I did well this year was to delegate the connection bit, just literally hitting that connect button to my virtual assistant. I'm absolutely fine with building the relationships and connecting after that. But I think it's just that initial piece which I was just not wanting to do. Therefore, I wasn't doing previously. So having someone to just make it a less emotional process and hit the connect button without overthinking it has really helped me this year. Being consistent with my email list is another thing I've done this year. Previously, I'd been a bit more haphazard, whereas I think I've pretty much emailed every week this year. So I'm super proud of that. I know I mentioned a VA, but I do pretty much everything in my business myself, like in terms of emailing my list, creating the podcast, editing it, creating my sales pages, nurture sequences, thank you pages, all of the things. So as you will know, as a coach, there is a lot to balance. So I am super proud that I have managed to maintain those emails. The best thing I think I have done this year is launch my podcast, and I have put an episode out weekly without fail, which loads of people have said, my husband in particular, don't worry, no one will notice if you don't put one out. But it's just something that I know that maybe they wouldn't notice, but for me, it's something I've committed to, and therefore I will show up. That's not saying it's easy, because it's really hard. And in all honesty, I create most of these episodes on a Sunday afternoon, because it does take reflection time and thoughts and a lot of time afterwards to edit and do the emails and get it all on the platforms. So it's been really hard to fit that in my day, and that will come into what I'm going to do differently next year. But for now, just saying I'm super proud that I have committed myself to put this podcast out, to be honest in this podcast, but hopefully to also inspire you that anything is possible for you. Facebook ads are another thing I've moved to for the first time this year to grow my email list. I've really enjoyed that, although it is tricky because currently, luckily, the people that are in my world or on my email know me, like me and trust me probably already prior to signing up to the email list. So it does feel a bit strange to have kind of cold people who don't know who I am on my email list. But I'm excited to warm them up and help them get to know me and add as much value to them to be able to change their lives and change their business, which is the reason I'm out there trying to get more people onto my email list. Another thing that went super well this year is hiring a social media manager. It's been an absolute joy to have that constant thought of, my gosh, I better put a post out off of my plate, and for it to be done really consistently, look really pretty. I didn't used to bother personally with Instagram, whereas now she is posting on Instagram. So it's been wonderful to grow that platform as well. Saying that, what I have in the later months of 2023 really started doing is occasionally putting out my own stuff. Nicole makes things look lovely. If you're wondering if it's her or me, it's kind of obvious because I'll put out some really bad photo, some really bad worded text. But actually, it's those posts that do the best because people know it's you. They know it's in the moment. They know you had something to say and you wanted to say it right there and then. So what I'm learning from having a social media manager is that it's not that easy to just delegate things and think, I'm not going to have anything to do with my marketing. You really do need to be the heart of your marketing. And actually, I miss it and I enjoy it and I enjoy communicating my message. So I think there is a balance. Yes, it's a joy to know I've got some consistent content being scheduled out there. But I also next year want to bring in far more of my personal stories and things that really help people to connect with you as a person. So if you're not currently sharing personal stories, I would really highly recommend it. It's the best way and your biggest differentiator in this marketplace. In terms of work-life balance, time and energy, I am pretty tired, is what I've written here. As I come towards the end of the year, I have really ramped up my visibility. I've held a webinar, then an in-person event, then I'm running a 2-hour workshop next week. And so it takes a lot of energy out of you running events, but I do love it. I've got a lot better at really managing to disconnect when I'm out of the house. And I think that's a good learning is sadly, because I work from home, you have that connection with work and you're kind of sneaking off to record podcasts. So what I'm intending to do next year is look for some sort of office space. So I have more of a divide between my home and work. In terms of my personal development, I have read a lot of books. I always write out a list of the books that I have read. So I will publish that in my actual hard copy of this reflection on my website. I've had lots of different coaches this year. So I worked with Gemma Gilbert in her program Amplify and also in her mastermind for 18 months. I have recently started working with someone called Phil Harrison to ramp up my visibility. And actually they're complete opposites, because Gemma Gilbert's message is anti-launch, whereas Phil Harrison's message is go big on your launches. So next year you will see me going big on my launches. I think after 2 years of having the more evergreen approach, and I do really like it, I am excited and ready to really grow my impact, show up more, help more people. As well as those 2 business coaches, this year I've worked with Juliette White, who's a wellness practitioner. She does EFT and parts work and lots of other work. So we've worked on some kind of deeper emotional trauma type stuff with Juliette. I have worked with Nick Harris, my coach, for over 4 years now. He's an ICF MCC coach, and he constantly helps me to really see the deep, meaningful reasons behind everything that happens in life, which is usually related back to childhood. So I'm super lucky that he has helped me to become a better coach and constantly helping me evolve on this journey. So I have invested personally a lot of money in my business and in myself. And I really do believe the best ever investment you can make is in yourself. And it's paid off for me tenfold, whether that is getting the exact result that I signed up for from the person, or whether it is learning and growing along the way. I really do think that there needs to be more responsibility in terms of, if you're signing up for something, you need to show up for it. And that's something that I definitely take responsibility for, and it served me tenfold in my business and the people I have worked with. In terms of clients, I've worked with 41 people in the business of coaching in 2023. I worked with 14 additional people in my program Offer to Market. I worked with a few one-to-one clients. I have helped lots of people through my free webinars and workshops that I run. So if you've attended any of those, I hope that they have been super helpful for you. My clients have achieved some huge success stories this year. I'm super proud to have been part of their journey. And I am so blessed with the most amazing, confident, courageous women who I work with. So I have had all dream clients, and for that I'm seriously blessed. In terms of habits and behaviors, this is the year when I've noticed my hormones the most. I will be 45 in a few months, and I'm most definitely dreading certain times of the month now, and I think it's all ramping up. So that's a bit nerve-wracking given the energy that it takes to build your business. I haven't always made time for my walks. I haven't done my meditation as much as I have in the past. So my health really needs to become a cornerstone for 2024. In terms of offers, I've kept it super simple this year with Offer to Market running 2 times, I think, and my business of coaching program running all of the time. And I've run 2 in-person events. It's been wonderful to have a really simple business model. Although I'm excited to be launching a new program in 2024, I do still want to keep to 2 or 3 maximum programs that I offer, because every single one is pretty much like a business in themselves, needing an entirely new marketing plan and ideal client and all of the things. So I would still definitely recommend keeping your business as simple as you can. In terms of sales and income, I've earned around 30,000 more than I did in 2022. I put that down to showing up more consistently, gaining help. So this is revenue, not profit. But for me, it's not really about bringing in more money. It's about helping as many people as I possibly can. So I'm competing against myself here, not against the online world of sharing your finances. My 3 highlights of this year is that it's been a year of growth, it's been a year of support, but more is needed, and it's been an incredible year of client wins. My 3 significant challenges were that I have ended up building a business which relies on my personal energy rather than on systems and processes. I take on too much responsibility, so I think I need to be way more challenging in 2024. And my final challenge is that I still do a lot myself in my business, and I need to really start figuring out how I can seamlessly hand things over so I can spend more time doing that work with my clients. In terms of my team, I've loved having Jo, my VA. She's worked with me for a long time now. We rarely have to speak because she just knows what I want and she does it perfectly. So thank you, Jo. And Nicole, my social media manager, is amazing. She helps me be organized. I very rarely need to amend anything that she drafts because she's got me, she's got my business. She created the most beautiful coaches planner. So if you haven't seen it yet, please do look for the link in the show notes and you can download a editable version or you can buy it on Amazon, and it's so pretty thanks to Nicole. I worked with Olga Getman for a short while as my online business manager. It was only for a really short while, but she made a super big impression in that time. I worked with Sophie on my Facebook ads, which was wonderful to know that I had someone just putting things out there. My word of the year for 2023 was support. And I did seek out support this year. I have now my VA, social media manager, Facebook ads person. I also sought out other coaches, like I've talked about, to really help me personally on this journey. So my 2024 game plan, my priority is to put my family at the heart of everything I do, to pin up if I'm saying yes to this, what am I saying no to? Because I do think that I am fully invested in my clients and I always will be, but sometimes it does come at the expense of my family because I'm extremely driven by wanting the best for my clients. Again, to really do that, I think what I will do is have a more dedicated workplace so I have a bit more divide between my home and my work. This year, I'm intending to build a real business that isn't based on my energy. So I do put a lot of energy into everything I do. And I do think there are areas that I can automate. For example, I create gifts for my clients and I order them loads of different gifts, and then I buy the envelope and then I get a personalized card and then I walk it to the post office. So there's lots of things I'm doing currently that requires a lot of personal energy, and there are ways to systemize that love and care that I want to give my clients. So I really need to step into that in 2024 to ensure I can still give the level of service that I want to give without it being based on my personal energy. And my final priority for 2024 is to launch a group program about how you can launch a group program, because it's been the best thing I ever did. There is a particular way of launching a group program and creating a program that gets results and creating a program that creates amazing case studies. My values and words of the year for 2024. So my main value is championing. So I've written here both me, them, and them championing me. So I do a lot of championing and I don't always allow myself to be championed in return. Fortunately, I have the most amazing clients and people around me who do this and constantly remind me to allow it. So that is a real focus for me for 2024. And my other kind of businessy type focus, I guess, is CEO. So Is this something a CEO would do? I want to constantly ask myself. I have this amazing woman I love called Fabienne. So I'm going to genuinely start asking myself, what would Fabienne do? Would Fabienne be creating the sales page, or would she be asking someone else to do it? So I'm hoping to really step into Fabienne in 2024 and that's CEO of my business. So I hope it was interesting to hear someone else's reflection of their business, and hopefully some of the things I'm sharing you can take into your business too. If I've actually created my written document by the time this episode goes live, I will share it in the show notes. Otherwise, you will find it on my website before the year ends, because I publish it every year, and you can look back to my previous ones and really notice the journey, because I think it's really easy to want it all and want it all now. And it's nice to sometimes see that it's taken a really long time to get to this point and to really notice the milestones along the way. So I hope that was helpful to hear the behind the scenes of my business. I cannot wait to see yours. So if you do a reflection, please do send it to me. I would love to see it. And it's the perfect thing to help you to connect to your ideal client, and also to be able to look back and see your progress along this journey of entrepreneurship. So thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And like I always say, trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seeds. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Women in the Coaching Arena. I have a mass of free resources on my website, joannalottcoaching.com. That's Joanna with an A and Lott with 2 T's, joannalottcoaching.com. And I'll also put links in the show notes below. Let me know if you found this episode useful, share it with a friend, and leave me a review, and I will personally thank you for that. Remember to trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seed. Get into the arena, dare greatly, and try.